you are the rock star in
Oh,
our world. And when I heard your name, I'm like, my gosh. And I still remember that morning when I read the newspaper, and I'm like, who is this guy? Why is he writing like that? And I read it, and I read, so what is he talking about? He's nuts. And then that's you know, so I followed your career. But what made you be willing, you're something that you're gay, you're not Latino, you're male, you're everything that someone identify with, and you're Asian.
I also majored in Black Studies in college.
That's right. So explain to us what made you come out like that. It's really scary, you know. It's worse than being gay. It's worse than being raped. It's worse than getting married and divorced. I think.
No, I mean it's like, look. I mean, I got to the point in my career where I worked really hard to get to where I got, you know, and I had just profiled Mark Zuckerberg for the New Yorker, and I was gonna sell a book on kind of internet culture, and I had just done my first documentary on AIDS in Washington D.C. So my career was kind of at its peak, and you know, as I was telling you, the more my career got better, the more scared I got, and I just couldn't believe, and the guilt, I tell you, like the guilt, I think is probably the guilt of I was seeing all these young dreamers coming out, right? I mean, remember the phrase that they use, undocumented, unafraid, and unapologetic? I remember when I first saw a YouTube video, and I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm so scared. What do you mean unafraid? Unapologetic? Like, I'm really sorry. Like, I don't know why you're saying you're unapologetic. So they really pushed me to think that way. But then having grown up in California, you know, when people think illegal, they think Mexican.
Right.
And I grew up with a lot of Mexican, you know, kids, documented and undocumented. And I felt like a certain kind of guilt towards that. And I think, the last thing is really I'm fortunate to be at the right place at the right time. You know, thank God for lawyers. I mean, I spoke to about 30 lawyers. I researched this. I decided I was going to come out on June 18th, 2010, when the DREAM Act failed the Senate. That's when I was like, okay, I'm going to go do this. I spent 3.5 months talking to about 28 lawyers, just like asking them, all right, what do I do? As you can imagine, most of them said, you're nuts, don't do this. There were a couple who were a little more like, yes, go for it, including Bill Hing from San Francisco. He wrote a book called Deporting Our Souls. Really, really wonderful gentleman. And I just knew that I don't know, I never felt really, I don't know, I don't think I felt scared. I think I just felt more, if anything, I felt like I owed it to this country to do it. Look, I mean, the last time I was in Ohio, I was covering the Barack-Hillary Clinton primary season. You know, I've gotten to see so much of this country. This country has given so much to me. How can I not speak up? So I guess there's that. But that sounds so Oprah-ish. That's not how I mean that to sound. But yes.